Welcome to our tutorial on implementing camera controls in Java. Today, we're going to dive deep into creating an interactive camera system that you can use in your game or application. So grab your IDE and let's get started. First, let's discuss the basic concepts of a camera in a 3D environment. A camera allows us to view and interact with our scene. We will need controls for moving the camera forward, backward, left, and right, as well as looking up and down. To implement this, we can use Java with a popular library for graphics rendering. For this tutorial, I recommend using the JavaFX framework for our application. So, make sure you have JavaFX set up in your development environment. Let's start by creating a basic JavaFX application. We will create a scene and a stage. We have our application structure set up. Now, let's create the camera. In JavaFX, we can create a perspective camera and set it in our scene. Next, we want to set up camera controls. We will listen for key presses that allow us to move the camera around our scene. For this, we will be using the event handlers in JavaFX. Now we can control the camera's position in space. Pressing W moves it forward, S backward, a left, and D right. The up and down arrows will help us tilt the camera up and down. It's time to create a more fluid camera control experience. Instead of moving the camera with each key press, we can implement a continuous movement system, allowing smooth transitions. In this code, we're using an animation timer to continuously check whether a key is pressed down and move the camera accordingly. Notice how smooth the movement is now. Next, we want to add some camera rotation controls to our application. Let's add mouse support for looking around. With this code, we can now click and drag the mouse to look around in our scene. Adjusting the sensitivity by changing the multiplication factor will allow us to customize the controls further. We can enhance the user experience by adding a feature to reset the camera to a fixed point. Let's set up a reset button on the scene. The reset button allows the user to return to the starting point easily, which is especially useful in complex scenes with lots of interaction. Before we conclude, let's discuss how you can expand on this system. You can implement different types of camera controls, such as a first-person or third-person perspective. You could also integrate a collision detection system to prevent the camera from going through walls or other objects. You might also want to consider adding some UI elements for better control, like sliders to adjust camera speed, sensitivity, and field of view dynamically. Now let's recap what we have built. We created a JavaFX application with a camera that we can move using keyboard controls, rotate using the mouse, and reset with a button. We also discussed potential enhancements. Thank you for joining this tutorial on implementing camera controls in Java. Make sure to check out the code and try it out yourself.